Hello friends and welcome back to I'll Add It to the List. So today we're going to watch another episode of The Haunting of Hill House. So we're now on episode 9 and I saw on my last reaction of episode 8 that this episode is all about the mum and kind of, I think, seeing things from her perspective. So I'm so excited to see a little bit more of like what happened to her. I'm like scared and very, very excited. I think last episode was by far my favourite so far. So I'm really interested to see if this kind of matches up to that episode because I just thought the last episode was so good. If you haven't seen any of my other reactions, I do have all of the links in the description, and also there's a playlist of all of them in order so you can watch them if you would like to.
Your arm's asleep?
No,
You guys coming?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Right. First of all, I'm already freaked out. So she didn't notice or see him take Luke from her arms? Is that what just happened? Like, she seemed really freaked out by nothing.
I guess it's all about how we feel when we're young. Doesn't ever really change.
I suppose not.
When I was 12, my dad died unexpectedly.
I'm sorry.
Me too. It was a car accident and...
Oh, she went straight in with the personal stuff. Mrs. Dudley's just like sweeping the glass, minding her own business, and she just sits next to her and... My dad's dead. Just so you know.
I didn't really know how to handle it. I just was numb. Didn't even cry. And I was sitting in the living room in my dad's recliner. Always made me feel so small sitting there. And suddenly it bubbled up and I felt it all. And right then I heard these taps on the window. Rain. So I cried harder. The hail came harder too. I'd been through hail before, but not like that.
One thing that this program does so well is looking at grief. I feel like so many programs and films that I've seen, they kind of skip over grief. Like, you know, they'll have them be a bit sad for a while and then they kind of get over it and they don't really discuss it. But like, grief is really, really complex and so different for so many people and takes so long to go through different stages. And you're never like, my personal opinion is you're never actually out of grief. You know, you learn to live with it and you go through different stages and acceptance and things like that. But like, you never stop grieving. And I think it's really interesting to watch a program actually talk about it so often, because in horror there's so much grief but it's never really spoken about normally. It's normally jump scares and screaming and crying and that's it. But like, actually talking about grief and what grief does to people and how sometimes you're in shock and you're angry, and I just think it's really clever. I think it's really, really cool that they talk about it so often in this.
And I could see it. It was rocks. It was small, black stones hitting the windows, bouncing up off the ground outside. And my mom came running in. And she was bleeding from her scalp. I remember that just from running up the driveway. She got hit. And as suddenly as it started, it just stopped. Silence.
So does the mum have like actual powers then? Like, does her emotions affect the weather? Like, what does it mean?
I always kind of thought, I thought it was my fault. When Daddy died, I made it rain rocks. These things make perfect sense when you're a kid. It's only as you grow up that they start to sound crazy.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking. The little girl just losing her dad and then Ugh, thinking that she caused the weather is just so sad.
Come on, not now.
So that is the ghost they talk about in the last episode. So apparently Steve wrote it in his book that he saw this clock repairer fixing the clock, and the dad points out that they never had anyone fix the clock because it was really old and you'd need to have a specialist like flown out to do it. So that's a ghost that she's walking past right now. So does he die? I don't want Luke to die. No. And oh, I really hope that that's like a false premonition they're both having. No. What was she cutting? Was that like because they sew their mouth closed so when they got the open casket, their mouth doesn't like open? Oh, is that why? In the first ever episode, when she goes up to Steve as a ghost, like right at the end, is that why she starts by being like she can't speak? Is that why? Because it's like hinting towards that vision that she has to like snip open her mouth to talk. Oh. No. No! Oh, that really creeps me out. So that's Polly? Is it Polly? The crazy one. Oh my god. That made me feel sick. The creeping around the corner, you just see like half her face. Oh, this is the stuff I have nightmares about. Oh my god, I'm so scared. Oh, she's pretty.
I dreamed I lost my little girl once. I dreamed she was choking on her own body. I dreamed I held her little hand and sat at her side, and it took days, weeks, it took weeks for her to quit gulping that watery air, quit gaping at me like a fish on the beach, but finally she did. She dangled. She died. And my boy. I once dreamed his little legs stopped working. It just stopped one day. And then he couldn't do anything but cry. Cry and bang on the walls. Bang on the walls for help and bang on the walls for mama and just bang, 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 bang. And he couldn't even see. In the end, he couldn't see me there with him.
Jesus Christ. I mean, amazing actress. Amazing writing. Terrifying monologue. So the banging on the walls is what Theo and Shirley have been hearing, right? So that must be her son, like his spirit. And then gasping for air? Is that meant to be kind of like Nellie? Like she was underwater and then gasping for air, and she said dangling, which makes me think of the hanging and Nellie.
Perfect, aren't they?
Oh my god, that really scared me. Oh my god. What the fuck?
You?
Oh shit.
I was having a horrible dream.
You think? What's going on with you?
Nothing.
You're holding a fucking screwdriver to my throat.
No, I wasn't.
That no I wasn't is so like, it's such a simple mark of a crazy woman. What, and he just carried on walking? She's like practically fainting up against the wall, and he just keeps saying, he's like, live, live, live. Okay. Just goes on his merry way.
What if I dream that you kill us?
What?
You send us away out into the dark, and my heart breaks right in half, and I can't feel anything happy until I can't stand it anymore, and I have to die. I'm scared of the dark out there, that I put poison in me. I poisoned myself for years and years, until my blood turns into poison and my body breaks down.
What the fuck? So, I mean, I guess Luke's gonna die of an overdose then. Man. So I mean, we're gonna find out, I guess, if this is meant to be a dream or if this is actually happening. But like, imagine being a child and having a nightmare that like lays out all the horrible things that's gonna happen to you in your life and how you're gonna die.
And keep us safe.
Of course.
But are we safe with you, Mommy? Are we really?
Oh, so this is going to be what Steve finds, the dream that Steve finds her in when he like notices that she's a little bit scattered.
What you doing with those? Oh, these are actually for a little project your son is working on. But don't tell him I told you. It's a surprise.
You don't have to tell her. Shut up, Mrs. Dudley.
It's just anxiety. I mean, the kids are safe. It's just in my head. No. No, I'm sorry. But if you're worried about your children, you don't let anyone tell you what you're feeling is wrong. Stand firm between the world out there and these little souls, because the world out there has teeth. And it is hungry, and it is stupid, and it eats and eats mindlessly. It doesn't care that they're innocent. Listen to your gut. Hold the door. Even if it makes them hate you.
It's not like bad advice, but it's bad advice when you can see that Olivia is not mentally well at the moment. At the moment, she needs to hear that, like, the world isn't that bad and that she has to let her children live life, and it's scary, but that, you know, you just have to do it. You can't keep them indoors all the time. Like, not this. This is not helpful to Olivia right now.
Better if it's sooner. And for you, maybe even sooner than that. This house. It's a strange house. I've worked here a long time, and all I can tell you is that it's just as stupid and hungry as anything else. We don't stay after dark. I wasn't even going to help when you first bought this house. I didn't want to watch anything else get fed upon. But then he said it was a family. So I said I would work to keep an eye.
Mrs. Dudley, like, tries and tries to help them without sounding crazy, doesn't she? Like, she literally without sounding like a conspiracy theorist by being like, this house is haunted and there's ghosts and you need to go out by this time or you're all gonna be possessed. She tries so hard to warn them, and so does Horace. Like, they both try so hard to say, this house is fucked up. You should not be here. You should not be here with a family. And the second that any of you start to show signs that you're losing touch with reality, you need to leave. And they just don't listen. Ugh.
Mom? Mommy?
I think I do need help. I think I need your help.
Yeah.
Or someone's. I'm not me right now. I was all the things. All the familiar things. I was stressed and excited and content and motivated and concerned and exhausted and annoyed. But all those colors, they're all gone now, Hugh. And there's only one left. I'm scared.
That's such a beautiful little monologue. I think that obviously this is again like a way more supernatural take on mental health. If you are someone that's going through like depression or like a really serious bout of anxiety, it's really scary. You do feel very much like all the other emotions are gone. It's just really well written. I really appreciate it. I think it's so good.
Do you think there's something wrong with me? Like really wrong?
I think maybe Monday's a little late for your trip.
Go tomorrow then.
They've both got little broken hands all cut up from being scattered in this house. And they're holding their broken hands together. I don't know if I'm just reading into this, but I just think that's so tragically poetic that they're holding each other's broken hands that have been a result of them being scattered in this house. It is so sad what happens to them. I don't really know what happens to them yet, but I know it's not good. It is a gorgeous house, isn't it? Like, it's a shame about the haunting, but it's a beautiful house.
It's not possible.
Something I've been thinking about is like the running theme about rotting and mold. So obviously there's mold throughout the house, and I've spoken a little bit about the fact that there is mold on Shirley's model house once it's been touched by the mum, and then there's mold underneath the like dressing table, the vanity that Steve gives the mum. And when Steve explains why he doesn't want children, he says that their genes are rotten, and that's why he doesn't want children, because he doesn't want to pass on their rotten genes. And then Polly, I'm pretty sure it's Polly, mentions when she's talking about the dreams, she mentions rotten. She says rotten then if they have rotten dreams. There really does seem to be this theme about rot and mold, and that being like representative of like danger and death and decline in probably mental health and health in general. The whole problem with mold is the fact that once you have it, it's hard to get rid of, and it can like sink into the core and it spreads. And you know, I think it's quite a quite an apt metaphor for what's happening and the fact that this is kind of spreading out of their control. I could be completely reading into this though.
Guys.
Dad!
Jen says hi. She's making margaritas.
Do you want to call me back later when the kids have done?
I don't think that she is, and I don't think you're with her. Oh, this is something that I wanted to like mention. Again, I don't know if I'm like reading far too into things. When Mr. Dudley is talking about his mum, I think, in his monologue a couple of episodes ago. And he says that his mum got really scattered after working here. He mentions that she would run in the forest without her shoes on. That was like one of the things that she did when she was starting to go mad. And when we saw Polly, she had no shoes on. She was like fully dressed, but had no shoes on at all. And now the mum's come back and she's holding her shoes and she's got no shoes on. And I don't know if this is just like, again, me completely linking everything together, that it's not relevant. And I'm pretty sure that maybe when Nellie went back into the house, she didn't have shoes on either. And I'm just wondering whether that's meant to be like a little sign that they're scattered. Oh, what's she gonna do? We're finally gonna see the Red Room. We saw a little bit of it. We saw that there's a table and chairs in there. Oh, I'm so excited.
Actually, making sure everyone's safe. Always safe.
I just noticed as well the mold. That the mold's like, looks like it's starting in the Red Room. No. She was gonna poison Luke and Nellie. Fuck. No wonder the dad kicked off.
Your cup of stars.
And when you drink it, you hold your pinky up. Like this.
Mm-hmm.
Don't drink it. Don't drink it.
I need mine.
Wait, is this what Polly did to them? To her children? Because that might be why... Oh my god. Wait, so did Polly poison her kids? Because that's why she says that the daughter is gasping for air and like choking on water, and then finally like dangles and dies. And then she says that the boy couldn't feel his legs, and then he like couldn't feel most of his body, and then he died, which are both what happens when you get poisoned. So Polly poisoned her children and herself, and that's how they all died. So that's why the mum's doing it. Is that what's happening? Oh my god, Hugh, hurry up.
I'm waking us all up.
What dream?
Oh.
It's okay. It's okay. She's having a nightmare. She's gonna wake up.
What's wrong? Abigail!
Just a moment, and then there'll be no more pain. She's safe. Drink your tea.
That was terrifying and disgusting and horrible. I'm trying to work out who Abigail is. I don't know if Abigail's meant to be Polly's daughter or meant to be maybe Mrs. Dudley's daughter. Wait, what the fuck? Oh my god, this guy's just helping me. Okay, so I want to like actually have a full look at this. Who's there? Who are all those people meant to be?
She lies. She lies. That one.
Who?
Poppy.
Poppy! I've been calling her Polly this entire reaction video. I am so sorry. Poppy.
Are you awake now?
Who's that? I'm so confused. Is that meant to be the old woman when the old woman's young?
He's killing them. He's killing all of them.
So it's the exact spot that Nellie hung herself in.
Why can't I wake up?
Oh. The sound. The sound of that is haunting. She just needed to get out of the house earlier and get help.
Oh, don't be so dramatic.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it'll be awesome all summer long.
I gotta get my camera. Do you know which bag had my camera?
Blue bag still in the car.
Smells weird too.
Once we sell it,
We're gonna be rich. We're gonna be swimming in it.
Just fix the heat.
Seeing them all happy together, and like the dad being happy and vibrant, like we really haven't seen that at all. We've just seen him be concerned and quiet and awkward and upset, and oh, it's just so sad. And you already start to see the hints, because instantly Theo's like, it's cold, it smells weird, like instantly she gets a vibe that something's wrong there, but obviously at the time you just think that she's a child complaining about the house, and oh, it's so tragic.
you guys go on without me.
How could we?
But they do go out on without her because they have to. Well, you guys were definitely right. I definitely got a lot of the answers to my questions that I had before. I really enjoyed the episode. I still think that the episode 8 is my favourite still so far, but I think this one had a lot of information, and it was so nice to be able to see it from her perspective, because a lot of the scenes we'd already seen before, but we didn't really understand what was going on because we couldn't see what she was seeing. So horrible to see what she was going through that whole time. I'm really, really excited to watch the next episode. That will be the final, I believe, of The Haunting of Hill House. And I still have so many questions. I really want to know who all those people were in the background, because loads of them I didn't recognize. If I'm allowed to know yet who Abigail is, like whose daughter is she, because I definitely think I missed that. Like I got very confused about that. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and click that little bell so that you get notifications every time I upload. And if you have any suggestions for films or programs that you'd like me to watch in the future, then make sure to leave them in the comments down below and I'll add it to the list. I'm really concerned for Luke right now, because those visions didn't bode well for him.